You can see the slide, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great. Thanks. So last lecture, we had completed the rule of average adjustment. Now, what is the set of rules that are kept in front at all levels by the average adjuster, by the retired judges at Institute of Average Adjusters? By this case is a genuine case for general average. Thereafter, whether the lawyers from the cargo owners or the cargo insurers, basically, they may hire their own lawyers. Then the hull and machinery insurers on behalf of the ship owners, a lot of negotiation, discussion, walking out of the room, all that goes on before a final conclusion has to be made that which party will contribute what percentage equivalent to what dollars. And that rules, the guidelines which are taken from they are called the York Antwerp rules. Some semblance of basic rough kind of guidelines have been existing from 1890. This is a very shoddy kind of an approach. In 1902, I may have mentioned this body was formed in the Belgian capital, Brussels, called Comité Maritime International, a French abbreviation. In English parlance, we can say International Maritime Committee. It was made up by maritime lawyers, philosophers, and thinkers. Their maritime trade is here to stay. It is going to increase. Let us start streamlining certain rules. So they focused on tonnage measurement. Why? Because the port dues are made up, are decided on that, calculated on that. It's a basic form of ANWR, basic form of void system to be used in North Sea, etc., etc. Their actual involvement started after 1912. Titanic happened. They were the ones who developed the first solar and revised it, and when IMO was formed, they handed over the solar system. Anyway, we don't have to get into details of this. That happened. CMI details are there as part of your ASF syllabus. But the meaning is, this is a private body, first of all, not like IMO, an intergovernmental body where countries are, member countries are represented. No, it's a private body. But almost 120 years it existed, it has developed a lot of respect in the global maritime fraternity. They are respected. If CMI says something, okay, it means. So they took the responsibility to let's develop some kind of rules of general average incidents are happening, general average losses. So the calculation, what goes into general average cost, what actions are treated as general average actions, so therefore the associated cost would be general average cost. That, for the first time, CMI developed in 1974. They revised it again in 1994, revised it in 2004, and the latest provision, that is of what York Antwerp rules is existing, is done in 2016. Now, first of all, why they are called York Antwerp rules? The people involved making up of this organization called CMI to decide to do something about, how do we go about settling of general average. They organized one conference in city of York, that's in Ireland. And they could not finalize it, but the ball was set into motion. It was finalized with a second conference held in Antwerp. Why? Because the head office is in Brussels. Okay, let's hold it in Antwerp. So because the rules for general average is a result of two conferences held by CMI, they are known as York Antwerp rules, short form YA. You hear your catwork rules, the only thing should come to your mind is we are talking about settlement of general. There is a very, very important thing. As I've said, IMO is an intergovernmental body. Whatever comes from there, like a convention, it is law. We discussed that procedure of making a law. It is mandatory. It's a legal requirement. CMI is a private body, although it is very respected. It's a private body, but they do not have the powers to make law. So we can set guidelines. This is the most important part is your Antwerp rule is not a law like convention of IMO or ILO. Next week onwards, hopefully we will be we'll do the Maritime Labour Convention of ILO also. Any convention. Therefore, to use York Antwerp rule for the settlement of general average is not mandatory. But why the entire world follows York Antwerp rules blindly? Because other than York Antwerp rules, nothing else is existing. Nothing else in the whole world, six continents, nothing is existing. So क्या होगा कि in the absence of using York Antwerp rules, the local law of the country will be applied or used to settle the general average proportional contribution, where the general average incident has taken place, collision, grounding, fire, whatever. If it happens out in the open sea, where the law of the flag states, that can be one hell of a nuisance. What can be the law of Sierra Leone? I'm not decrying a country, but we know it, that country is still grappling with poverty and things like that. Their focus is not creating a proper law for general average. वहाँ पे it will be a free for all. All the ship owners, cargo owners, they will run for cover. Because if it is not York Antwerp rules, it will be the local law of the country wherever the incident happened, battlefield. So with the result, all the parties involved in the common maritime adventure, all the cargo interests, the ship owning interests, they say, yeah, in the absence of York Antwerp rules, कुछ नहीं है, तो be by default agree to treat York Antwerp rules as Bible or Gita for the settlement of general average. अब सब लोग म्यूचुअली अग्री कर रहे हैं तो इट हैज यूनिफॉर्म एक्सेप्टेंस वेदर लॉ हो या ना हो बाय डिफॉल्ट इट हैज बिकम द ओनली सोर्स ऑफ settlement of general average. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So, because it is not a law like a convention, so the 1974, oh, sorry, there is a mistake here, typo error. 1974, 1994, 2004, 2016 versions are existing side by side. It is not an amendment. Amendment तो law का होता है. So before the commencement of the common maritime adventure, all the parties involved, they mutually agree which of the revisions will be used for settlement of general average, and one line is inserted. Now, who are the parties involved? Ship owner, on his behalf, hull and machinery insurance will pay. So, in the marine insurance contract on the plan, it is written. Let's say, who are the parties involved? Ship owner, hull and machinery insurance. Cargo owner, cargo insurance. Charterer, depending upon the terms and conditions of the charter party. And or another contract that comes into existence is bill of lading. First and foremost, these people, responsibility of the ship owner. I want to use, let's say, YAR 2004. The hull and machinery insurer says that here his liability increases phenomenally. He says, if I was planning to take 8 lakh rupees, $8 lakh as premium, now you have to pay 10 lakh. Whatever agreement comes, then the ship owner goes to the cargo owners, which York Antwerp rules will be used. If it is part of the charter's requirement, he will discuss it with the charterers. All the people will have to come mutually to a conclusion, which these people they use it as a leverage to negotiate the freight rate, the charter hire rate, the insurance premium, whatever. And thereafter, one single line is inserted in all the contracts. Marine insurance contract, that is hull and machinery, cargo insurance. Charter party, bill of lading. All this, it is there. Suppose it is 2004 for all settlement of general average, York Antwerp rules 2004 version shall be used. ये कभी नहीं होगा कि हल एंड मशीन में इंश्योर ने कह दिया वी विल यूज 94 और बिल ऑफ lading में नजर आ रहा है 2000. नो, फर्स्ट इट हैज टू बी सॉर्टेड आउट. आर यू विथ मी टिल?
Yes, sir.
The most important thing is, it's a very, very important thing. But like in comparison, we had discussed the implied warranties. So every passage will be a legal passage that the ship will be following the required law. Law meaning the law of convention. Convention is a law. York Antwerp rule is not a law. So if in any contract it is not mentioned in writing, York Antwerp rules version, whichever year shall be used for the settlement of general average. If it is not written, even though verbally it is agreed, if it is not written, it will not be used. These are the few very important points that the ship owner ensures that he is checking. The cargo owner is having it written. And if it is not mentioned, that means York Antwerp rules will not apply. The rule of that country will apply where the incident has happened. These, this is what is the great discussion that we are having. But whatever are there in 5-6 points, you only get a short notes on York Antwerp rules or what are the salient features of York Antwerp rules. That is what I've just discussed and I've continued to discuss. You're with me. This is the background. Yes, please go ahead.
So that means that in case of evergreen, it was not declared by the shippers. Means when the bill of lading was signed and all, that the settlement of general average will be done by whichever YAR rules. So that means in that case, if it is not mentioned, then Egyptian law will apply, local law, whatever is there for the settlement.
Absolutely.
Okay, sir.
Because the incident has happened there. But that is what I'm coming. I will talk about ever given also, but after discussing this 1 or 2 slides more, I will first show you the comparison. 74 ones have become 4. I've got a comparison between 94, 2004, and 2016. And what I've heard that 1994 version, I think, and which one is being used, is that
Sir,
things
just
like that.
one more question, sir. Sorry, sir,
Please.
sir, in case of like in containers, we have this bill of lading, but if in case of charter party where we do not have So it will be mentioned in the charter party clauses.
Absolutely. Any contract, any contract. See, there are two things where charterer is the shipper also, so then you will have the charteral bill of fare also. But what you are saying, it's only on charter, so you may not see it, but as far as the cargo is being loaded, so there has to be a BL. It may not be on the ship, it will be with the agent or it will be with the ship owner. वहाँ पे वो mention होगा. But for the sake of the ship, it will be. Which are the contracts where this it is required to be mentioned for the settlement of general armament by or XYZ version will be used. It will be there in the hull and machinery insurance contract. It will be there in the charter party. It will be there in the cargo insurance contract and it will be there in the BL. Any contractual thing, it has to be mentioned.
Okay, sir.
Because the importance अगर mention नहीं है भैया फिर तुम सर पकड़ो और माथा मारो क्योंकि वो लोकल लॉ वहां का अप्लाई होगा जहाँ पे इंसिडेंट हुआ अभी देयर इज नो अदर ऑप्शन ठीक है
Yes, sir.
now finally you will write that York Antwerp rules they are a set of lettered rules and a set followed by a set of numbered rules अभी मैं दिखाता हूँ कैसे become all the more clear to you. Lettered rules are rule A to G, alpha to golf, and they contain the general principle or philosophy, you know, that भाई ये चीज होनी चाहिए before we look in the direction कि भाई ये general average का केस लेके रहे. Who will use this? I mean, average adjuster, पहले वो देखेगा उसको. The retired judges institute of average adjusters. These rules are being have to be followed before we analyze the case, how genuine it is, etc., etc. एक बार it is declared कि हाँ भाई this case, this accident is a genuine case of general average, तो फिर lettered rules का काम खत्म हो जाता है. They are general principles, general. Then the numbered rules come into play because they are very technical and specific. वो अभी दिखाता हूँ कि this cost will be taken as a general average cost, cost of repairs, wages of master and crew, provisions, etc. This is not a general average cost, so automatically that will become a particular average to be taken care of by the particular party. एक चीज का याद ध्यान रखना बेटा, when you are writing rule 1 to rule 23, don't write it in English. You have to write it in Roman. Write 1 to 23. अब ये नहीं है कि it's a principal error, but then we have to be very, very smart in the way we write that. And, you know, one separate clause sometimes is it's a 5-line clause. What is rule paramount? I'll show you that no expenditure will be considered as a general average cost for which the proportional contributions have to be made unless reasonably incurred. But now the principle, it is the danger was common and immediate, visible. The action taken were voluntary, and therefore the costs associated with the action were reasonable, etc., etc. That is rule paramount. Now, I just want to show you how does can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is what it is. Rule A, and these are general principles. Rule B, etc. I want to draw your highlight to one of the numbered rules, Rule 6, which is very interesting. I don't know, yeah, I have downloaded from the internet. It should have been 94, 2004 and 2016 का पता नहीं 2015 का comparison इन्होंने बीच में FG. Now the number rule will start from here. Yes. भाई सबसे पहले जेटिसन से हुआ था तो यही है ना, there is no change. But I want to highlight rule 6. ये salvage. We have done salvage. Now this is 94, the first column. The second column is 2016. The last one is 2004. If you see the first one, expenditure by parties with the nature of salvage, etc., shall be allowed in general average. The salvage can run into millions of dollars, 3, 4, $500 million. We have done that. So if all the parties they agree that we will settle as per YAR 1994, सबसे पहले क्या होगा? Hull and machinery insurance premium will be doubled. If the cargo owners they agree to it, that means their cargo insurer is going to charge them double premium. तो cargo owners will say, please reduce our freight. ये ना हो कि freight भी हम ज़्यादा दे रहे हैं तो insurance premium भी दे रहेगा. If the charterer is taking care of this, depending upon if it's on a time charter, then he will reduce the charter rate. That's where the negotiations go. And what I have read up till now, in case of ever given, what general average will be settled as per 1994. तो जितना भी सैलवेज का वो जो रिवॉर्ड वगैरह जो है some 300 odd million dollars जो क्लेम किया जा रहा है, it will be part of general average. Everybody will have to contribute. I do not know. I have just read it. I have not confirmed it. If we come to 2004, salvage payment interest, salvage shall lie where they fall and not be allowed in general average. They had come back to a logical thing. I'll tell you what happened. Whereas in 2016, it came back again. Expenditure incurred, etc., shall be allowed in general average, provided they added some clause. These are interesting things. Now, you may say कि सर देखो इतने clauses add कर दिए थे. Now, CMI is a private body. भाई चलो भाई York Antwerp rules का revision हो रहा है. Who are the interested parties? The ship owners of the world and the cargo owners. They have their association. So you have international, every country has international ship owners association. Then worldwide you have international ship managers association. The cargo interest, you have intercargo, intertanko. There's so many. They make sure they attend the conference or for the revision. So, अगर 94 में it was part of general average, salvage was part of general average, that means the shipping lobby would have been very strong as compared to the cargo lobby. कि वो बनवा लिया होगा वहां पे. You can imagine that कि salvage can run into millions of वो भी contributions से आ रहा है तो भैया ship owner के तो total बल्ले. Whereas in 2004, the cargo lobby would have been stronger. They said, get the salvage out. We are paying through our noses. Then again in 2016, they would have come to a compromise. No, we want it back. Ship owners would have said, cargo owner said, okay, we can't have a deadlock, but we want these conditions so that we don't suffer a lot. So that is how this whole thing works. But again, the damage to machinery and boilers is part of expenses to lightening the ship ashore, cargo, ship material, stores, and at port of refuge, everything. ये technical है कि whether all of this is part of general average or not. And that is given in your numbered. This is how it looks. So have you got a fair idea? I mean, I can send you that attachment also if you want. Even at master's level, you don't have to memorize anything, etc. But your catchword rule, the number rule, very clearly says, yeah, is part of is a general average action in unwritten words that this is a voluntary action with the sole objective of contributing towards resuming the common maritime adventure. And therefore, it's a general average action. Any cost associated with it, general average cost. Put it in the total, the final total हो जाएगा. If common maritime adventure with तुम्हारा 2% asset involved, you will contribute 2% of the total. तुम्हारा 22% था, you will contribute 22%. That is how it is settled. Are you clear on the concept of whole thing about general average and particular average? And just keep simply in mind two things. Common maritime adventure includes three things: the ship, the cargo, the intended passage. Whenever the intended passages get disrupted, it is a case for general average loss, general average, which means that all the parties involved, you will be the party, ship owner, and all the cargo owners, the other parties involved in the common maritime adventure. These are the people, they will have to make a contribution, proportional contribution. And contribution for what? That once the common maritime adventure has got disrupted, all the actions taken thereafter, all the actions taken thereafter with a single objective, with a single purpose of resuming the common maritime adventure. And that happens when the RFA is given, heading toward that port, which was first intended. All actions involved in resuming the common maritime adventure are general average actions. Therefore, any cost associated with that, whether it is repaired, whether it is port dues, whether it is piloted, X, Y, Z, whatever, is a general average cost, which will be total, which will be, suppose, like grounding का example दिया था मैंने, where hull repair हुआ, okay, that is also part of the cost. Cargo damage हुआ, contaminate हुआ because of ingress of water, well, that is also a cost. सब total होगा, जिसका जितना खर्चा हुआ, he will get that, the total of that, and that is coming out of the proportional contribution. Till the time RF is given, the intended common maritime adventure has been received. And any action which does not contribute towards resuming the common maritime adventure is not a general average action. That cost is not a general average cost, has to be taken care of the particular party alone, that is particular average. Very simply put, the people
So your voice is not coming, sir. Sir, your voice is not coming.
Can you read me now?
Yes, sir.
Mohit, where did we get disconnected?
Yes, sir. No problem.
Okay, so I was just having a recap. I don't know. It's also despite the AC and all, it's so hot. Probably I had to log off and log in again. So I think on board the ship, okay, it is visible for unfortunate incident of collision, grounding, etc. Fire that the common maritime adventure has been disrupted. Majority of the thing is taken care of assured by the company. What we have to do is we have to ensure in case of any disruption of the maritime adventure, we have to ensure that every logbook entry is perfect and tallying. Which are the logbook entries? We are talking about the deck logbook, official logbook, engine logbook, oil record book, the ballast water record book. These all are your your legal documents on board the ship, not the bell book. Bell book, I'll come to that tomorrow when I'm talking about certificates and document the legal documentation on board the ship. I'll just share one real life case which will become all the more interesting that how you know the people, the parties involved in common maritime adventure have to be very, very smart. Naito, they can end up losing lakhs and millions of dollars. This is a real life case. A general cargo ship, fully loaded, last port of discharge, sailed. The last port of loading and sailed for a 7-day passage. First port of call, first port of discharge was 7 days away. This was a ship, rather an old ship. It had a continuous, frequent perennial problem of, scavenge temperatures going up, stopping for 2, 3 hours, cooling down, moving up. Things were being managed. In this case, particular passage, when they sail, after one day, the chief engineer comes to the master captain. The engine is vibrating phenomenally. The scavenge temperatures are going very high. We'll have to stop this time. The stoppage is going to be long, 12 to 15 hours. I do not know. We need to figure out. So that is the scene. The master, he had the weather report in front of him, and they were likely to experience very bad weather. Not a TRS, but wind for 6, 7, very heavy weather. Now imagine in case of a heavy weather, if you do not have edges, you are at the mercy of the waves, you are in a very sad situation. After discussing in detail with the chief engineer, master took a call. The next port of call is 6 days away. Still, the next port where we have departed is just 24 hours away at full steaming. He told the chief, I'm taking a U-turn going back there and we'll have a greater look at it. The chief engineer said, we cannot proceed at full speed. He said, okay, whatever maximum you can give slow ahead, instead of one day, we will take 2 days, or we'll come closer to shore and away from the back. When they gave their pilot report arrival, they came alongside the flag state survey, class surveys, all they came. Took about 8, 9 hours. They have the resources, ultra gauging or whatever going below the bilge plate and etc. They found that bigger crack in the bed plate, which was causing the vibration, scavenge temperatures were. The ship was disabled. The certificate that immediate got suspended, safety constructions, ship is no longer seaworthy. And the bed plate had to be changed. Just for your information, bed plate changing, it can be done alongside. You don't have to go to dry dock. What happens is you dismantle the whole engine with chain blocks. The engine is main engine is hung, the bed plate is removed somewhere in the engine room bulkhead. You cut and remove the bed plate out, bring it outside because it cannot come through a door. It is a whole 8-cylinder on which this main engine sits. The new bed plate, second whatever it is, it brought, put in place, foundation folds, the engine is lowered, all connections made, the ship goes for a sea trial. This whole operation can take 2 to 3 months aram se if you get a good workshop, depending upon where you are. It can be more. You can imagine, yeah, first disconnecting the engine and then hanging the edges and fitting it back, sea trial, it's a huge thing. The moment the cargo owners they came to know, they went after the ship owner. We don't give a damn. You offload our cargo. And since you still have a liability for the safe carriage and delivery of a cargo, either you give us compensation or you get us another ship. The ship owner begged the cargo owner and have it completed, the whole repair, engine repair, in 2 to 3 weeks. I'll work 24/7, double the people, but don't make me offload the cargo. Cargo owners insisted, we don't give a damn, you do it in 2 days, but we want the cargo offloaded. And you'll come to know the reason. Anyway, in a nearby port, this is a real life case study. In a nearby port, the ship owner was able to find a similar size as a road ship, general cargo ship. He chartered that. When the whole cargo was offloaded in the port, same port where this repair was going on, these cargo owners, their cargo was loaded, they were off. The repair started. This is the scenario. Now the question is, why, not a question, but let me explain it to you. Why the cargo owners were hell-bent that you get rid of our cargo. Get rid means you offload our cargo. But अगर cargo ship पे रहता, they would have been part of the same common maritime adventure. And therefore, entire cost of repair and replacing the bed plate would have been part of the same general average for which proportional contributions would have had to be made. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So the lawyers of the cargo owner say, well, to hell with this ship, get your bloody cargo off. नहीं तो पता नहीं कितने $1 million तुम सबको देने पड़ जाएंगे. शिप ओनर का तो वही इंटरेस्ट है ना सबसे ज्यादा, एज यू पीपल राइटली सेड, सबसे ज्यादा फायदा शिप ओनर का. उसका क्या इंटरेस्ट था कि किसी तरह से झांसे में अगर ये लोग आ गए तो ये जो पूरा पर्टिकुलर एवरेज होगा, जो ये पूरा जो रिपेयर, ये पूरा न्यू बेड प्लेट, सी ट्रायल, ये जो सारा कॉस्ट मेरे इंश्योरेंस के ऊपर कंधे पे पड़ेगा अगले साल, माय प्रीमियम विल गो थ्रू द रूफ. ये अगर प्रोपोर्शनली शेयर हो जाए तो इससे बढ़िया बल्ले बल्ले क्या हो सकता है. But those guys were smart. They said, nothing doing. So now as a bait, you should understand when this particular common maritime adventure will be considered as finished. When the cargo owners association with the ship and the ship owner gets disconnected, and that will be when the last parcel of cargo is offloaded. Correct? उसके बाद तो common maritime adventure वहीं खत्म हो जाता है. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So in this case, as a bait, you have to tell your duty officers, अगर जब कि cargo offload हो रहा है accident, so you put 2+2. Which time has to be noted? That also depends whether shore crane is being used or your ship's gear is being used. If shore crane is being used, when the last parcel crosses the ship's rail, the packet may be hanging in the air, but as far as it has crossed the ship's rail and hanging on top of the jetty or the barge, it is considered to be offloaded. You will tell the duty officer to note down that time in case of shore gear when it has crossed the ship's rail, the last packet. You have to note down that thing, highlight it in your logbook, underline it. And in case the ship's gear is used and the last parcel is put on the jetty or the truck or whatever, and the hook of the ship's crane is disconnected while hanging on the jetty, then it is said to be discharged. These are the times become of paramount importance. Are you with me till here?
Yes, sir. So that's why maritime lawyers are highly good.
Uh, Good word. Smart mates are also very well respected and high people. Good. But one last point. इस केस में general average started counting from the moment the master took the decision, I'm taking a U-turn. I mean, hard port, hard starboard or hard port, and heading towards that port, which became the place of refuge. And you may say, sir, at that time it was not it was common danger to था, but it was not immediate. Not immediate. हम लोग को थोड़ा दिक्कत. Correct. But why it started counting from there? Because to a certain such a big damage that is the crack in the bed plate, we do not have the resources on the ship in terms of the equipment, ultrasound gauging. We would कैसे पता चलता है वो surveyors को they do the ultrasound gauging, then they go and do the physical inspection. That we don't have that. Number two, most of the surveyors they are naval architects or master. None of us on board the ship. We do not have the equipment nor the kind of training to find that kind of a damage of a big crack in the bed plate. So in this particular case, it was treated as कि भाई जहां से उन्होंने U-turn लिया, it will be taken from there. So a large thing, and this is decided by the retired judges. And till what time वहां से शुरू होगा, till the time the last parcel of cargo is there, is offloaded. Arrival pilotage, जो भी cost है, part of general average cost. Port dues, pro rata basis, till the time the last parcel of cargo is offloaded. After that, your headache, Mr. Shipowner, we are out. Again, the concept of general average, particular average, is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
So, let's, you keep focused on board the ship, proper logbook entry. Just remind me in case if I forget the proper, the legal logbooks, legal documents. What does it mean? So it is 4:35, 37. By what can we knock off for the day?
Yes, sir.
Yes, but, but wait, I just wait for 5-10 minutes before we log out officially at 6.